What's going on? With a little bit of price action here. So today started off a little bit choppy. Um, Actually got caught in a couple of trades on momentum for a few losses and really had to battle back here in the last hour. Luckily, we were able to get that all back to, hey, what's going on, Zeke? Luckily, we were able to get that all back to scratch. Again, did not really like the morning price action. Kind of have to remember to enforce my rules that, especially when the market starts off very, very choppy, to kind of leave it alone. Again, that's still a problem. Even 10 years later, trading options, trading futures that I still tend to have is I try to catch that high volatility move off the open. And if I'm wrong, normally that first trade is going to be a big one, meaning big loss. So yeah, this morning did take a $600 loss on the account. Had to really battle back on some scalps. Was able to find a few 2-minute 20 SMA plays, get back a few $100 here and there, and then I took another long through the initial balance high into a supply zone that I had here sitting at around 206.70s, 206.60s, which is a linear regression and the upper Bollinger Band on the 2-minute chart. Now we're kind of pulling back into these rising supports. So I've got support sitting here at 206.41. That's a 2-minute 20 SMA. I've got support sitting at 206.30s. Those will be the two levels for kind of a soft landing that I would definitely look for. For those of you guys inside of Evolution Traders, you guys kind of hear us throw around the term bigs tops, bigs bottoms. So we did have a little bit of that mean reversion here about 8:30, 8:32 Pacific Standard Time, where you can see those two 2-minute indecision candles where they're a little bit of a inverse hammer candle. And then at 8:34 PST, we got the confirmation through the 5 SMA into that 10. So the 10 SMA from the 5 was about an 8 to 10 point kind of gap. That was a short scalp that I did take. Again, playing very, very aggressive, not in terms of size, but in terms of the amount of trades that I was taking to kind of battle back this PA account. Again, right now this Apex PA account sitting at $271 in the green. However, it was down close to $700 early this morning. And again, that's simply from being wrong on momentum. So when you have high volatility, you have big ranges, and you're anticipating or looking for a specific breakout or breakdown, and it doesn't happen, you can tend to get whipsawed very, very quickly. You have to kind of reset yourself. You have to definitely take a step back, zoom out, and kind of look at the chart from a little bit more of a cleaner head. Because typically what tends to happen, I don't care who you are, and I don't care how long you've been trading, anytime you take a loss, it triggers a fight or flight mechanism inside of your brain where you want to immediately get those gains back. You want to immediately look for the reversal or look for that that setup that can get you back to where you were. Now, for myself, on this specific PA account, I'm copy trading over 2 accounts here. So these 2 Apex accounts, they're already at payout threshold, right? So I'm over the $2,600 balance that I need for that payout. They're currently sitting at around 3,081. I need to really nurse these because, again, fairly new accounts here. I think I've only got 6 days traded on them. So with that being said, I've got another 4 days and I still have to wait for the next Apex pay period. The last thing that I want to do here is go off the fucking rails and have this account draw down to where now I'm not able to get that payout on the next pay period, if that makes sense, right? So if that means, coming in here just looking for one trade with the same setups that I've been taking, and maybe, if it wins, it wins. If it loses, kind of call it a day, just to kind of get through to that pay cycle to ensure we get that $4,000 payout. Because again, with my PA accounts, I don't really look to run the balances up too high. I look to get them to threshold, take it out, trade them very, very small as soon as I have that very limited drawdown after the 2K payout. If I manage to grow that account balance, great. If not, I've always got another set of evals in the works ready to go into funded stage, or you know, Apex calls them performance account stage, great, right? Always want to keep that heavy rotation going, but I always want to make sure that I can get those payouts. Julie in Discord, she's done for the day. Green, $80 on her PA account. That's great. I got a few other people here that had some winners early. Biggs, obviously, Boeing, Upstart on the option side of things, stocks. You know, again, Biggs is an absolute rock star, letting the longs be longs, up $500 today. Burks, very, very good day on the PA accounts, 565 times 5. And then his $150,000 evals, he's up around $800 times 10. So very, very good. Mr. 3Putt is up trading the small caps, IWM, up $288. And so far, that's all that's coming. Again, Zeke, I do things differently. It depends on how many accounts that I have at that specific time. So right now I've got 3 XFA accounts with Top Step, and I've got 2 working on a third that just needs to be activated. I just got to probably activate that after the bell. With Apex, I look to get them around 3,000. When I get them around 3,000, I'm going to take out that $2,000 threshold payment, right? That max payment. At the end of the day, I look at these prop firms as, you know, depending on which sale that I purchase them on, normally it's going to be around $30, right? Let's call it between $30 to $40 for an account. We've got that activation fee. So round trip, I'm all in one account. Let's call it between $100 and $150. With that being said, a payout of $2,000 definitely eats up my cost for the account, and it maximizes my profits. Now, that's going to leave me with around a $600, you know, between $500 and $1,000 kind of cushion, right? Not a lot of cushion left on those accounts. Very high percentage of those accounts can get lost, meaning that it's not going to be enough drawdown to kind of overcome a few bad days, which I'm okay with because I always have like a Rolodex of accounts that are ready to be activated as performance accounts. So if I was a particular trader, let's say I have 2 accounts and I'm not working on any evaluations that are past that I can activate, then maybe I might take out a smaller payout, $500, $1,000, so forth and so forth, to kind of keep a higher drawdown so I can continue to trade those for longer. Now, if you're running it as a business, what is your cost of doing business? What's the expense for the account? What's the expense for the performance account activation fee? So forth and so forth. If you take that payout, is it going to pay for your investment? And are you going to have money to kind of carry over? So again, I don't leave much drawdown. That's the point. That's the question that you're asking. How much buffer do I leave? I don't leave much, 500 to 1,000. If I lose the account, so be it, right? So be it. I've already taken a payout on that account, and I can just filter in and activate a new one, because but here's what I am doing. I'm constantly working on evaluation accounts. So right now I've got, you know, 8, maybe even 9 evaluation accounts that I'm working on. One of them's very, very close to passing. One of them I passed last week on Friday that I just need to activate. So I've always got like a melting pot of, let's just pull another account up and let's keep the train going. I'm not going to, well, you know, I'm up 3,000. Let me just take 500 from this and then risk blowing that on the next pay period cycle and losing what could have been an extra $1,500 out of that account. I'm greedy. I'm going to take the most that I can take at one time. And if I fail it, great. So I've got another couple weeks to pass another one and another couple weeks after that to get another payout. It all kind of works itself out. But you've got to initially get on that cycle. You've got to initially get on that wave where you get out of the mindset of, okay, now that I've got 1 funded account or 2 funded accounts, I need to really protect these, because I know there's a lot of people that want to protect them. You want to run the balances up high. You want to have that, you know, get over the threshold, so you got more drawdown. So I don't care about none of that. Just keep those $2,000 payments coming every couple of weeks. If anything, get those $2,000 payments once a month. and just run up the number of accounts that you have. Yeah. I mean, in the past, I've lost an account after taking a big payout, within the first 1 or 2 days. It is what it is, right? What's the investment? $100, $150. Again, that investment stings. Okay, don't get me wrong. It stings when you take one payout and then you lose that account and you have to start all over again, because of the fact that you're not ready to go with more accounts, right? You're not ready to go with more accounts. So if you're ready to go with more accounts in the bag, that doesn't sting. When you're taking multiple payouts and you're taking consistent payouts, it doesn't sting either, because it's a money flow, right? Money goes in, money comes out, money goes in, money comes out. Unless someone, again, there's traders out here who are in college, there's traders out here who are maybe retired, there's traders out here maybe learning the game. Of course, you might want to keep 1 or 2 accounts as long as you can, because you're still in that learning phase. For myself, I don't need these prop firms to sufficient myself. I make money on options. I've got other things going on the side, so I want my money as fast as possible. But again, it all depends on what you'd like to do. There's no right or wrong way to do it. So I've got support sitting here at the 20 SMA, 206.50. That's going to be a little bit of a level of support. Down below that, I've got 206.37 as a support. Again, these rising demand zones, we're creeping. We're kind of just consolidating up here. I do have supply sitting in the 70s. If we do get over the 70, 74, I could definitely see NASDAQ going on a little bit of a run here. Again, NASDAQ's only at 40 points, so, definitely it's not like we're overextended or anything on the day. Now, again, we're pushing these all-time highs. We're kind of trading up here in outer space in no man's land. It is what it is. So how well these supply and demand zones get respected up here, again, the market's still trying to figure itself out, right? Market's still trying to figure itself out, which is why, again, also being summer trading, you guys can see that the pattern is remained the same. And I'll make this point yet again if you haven't heard, but summer trading is brutal, right? You get a lot of moves either at the end of the day, you get a lot of moves pre-market, you get a lot of moves in the overnight session, and off the open, New York is figuring itself out. So you're getting high rangy, high volatility moves up, down, up, down, up, down, and it's not until the initial balance is set, right, that first hour of trade, where you can kind of see price action slow down a little bit more, allow your setups to come to you and kind of fall in your lap a little bit easier, and the ranges are not necessarily so big, so you can definitely limit yourself. If anyone has been having trouble, if anyone's linear regression 50, if anyone has been having trouble with losing trades off the open, my best advice is just sit out for the first hour and just data analyze, right? Just collect the data. Watch the price action for the first hour of trade. Now, if you can't be disciplined enough and you still want to continue to go down the path where you're getting chopped up off the open the first 30 minutes, the first hour, then you have to really take a step back and ask yourself the question, why are you doing this business, right? Because let's be honest, everyone is in this business to make money, right? We're not out here rescuing cats from burning buildings. We're not out here doing brain surgery. We're not out here, saving lives. We are here for one sole purpose, and that's to make money. So you have to figure out, when is that best window of opportunity for you to make money, and when are you making the most money in your trading? Yes, sometimes off the open, the moves are fantastic, where you can take one trade and essentially be done for the day. Take a couple of trades and be done for the day. But there are going to be times and there are going to be days where you do take that good setup that has worked in the past, that snaps you out for 15, 20, 25 points. So when you think about it, you can essentially hit max loss. You can essentially hit a daily personal loss limit very early, and then sit here and still continue to watch price action and see that your setup or your strategy would have paid later. Okay, so again, we're all going to take losses. as stated in the beginning of this stream, I went down $600 very, very early to start the morning session. I had to sit back, let the price action do its thing, and try to look at finding a future setup and try to really battle back. Now, I took a lot more trades than I would have liked. I'm upwards of 10 scalps today. If you guys have seen some of my other review videos from TradeZilla, I like those trades to be between 3 and 6. Because if I'm winning trades between 3 and 6, normally that's an easy day where I'm getting a setup, it's confirming, I just get out. Getting a setup, it's confirming, I make money. And then I can kind of be patient and just say, hey, you know what, this is a pretty decent day, whether it's up $300 or it's up $500, and I can just walk away. It's the days where you take losses early where the hard decisions need to be made, where A, you have to stop trading on the day, and that's one of the hardest things to do for a trader, especially a newer trader, because you don't want to let it go, right? You don't want to let it go. But again, you know, there's always another setup, there's always another day. Or you have to really say, okay, I still got some cushion to kind of play around with here, but I need to be a little bit more, I need to, you know, try to make sure that the setups that I'm taking after that are my setups and not just emotional trades, and really try to battle back. So again, I would have loved to, you know, cut this trade count number in half today. But again, this is trading, right? No day is the same, no day is perfect. $50,000 account on Top Step has a 1K floor. Yeah, I do like, again, if you're a smaller lot size trader, you know, 50Ks will do okay. But yes, $1,000 drawdown is really not that much. Drawdown before they kind of bump you off for the day. $100,000 to $150,000 are a little bit more better. Again, a little bit more higher of a profit target, a little bit more steep of the price tag, but a lot of people do well. I know a lot of people that are on Apex right now that they're running that sale where you can get like the what is it, the 150K, 250K, and 300K for like, I don't know, I think it's $40. I'm not too sure, but people are really loving those bigger drawdown. I think it's on the 150Ks. It's like $5,000 drawdown, I believe. But you know, having a little bit more cushion and trading, you know, one mini contract is a lot less stressful than, you know, having $2,500 worth of drawdown and trading one mini. Again, you know, sometimes it takes a little bit longer to pass, but it is what it is. There's always a give and take. So we're kind of just basing out here. I do have, again, I'll kind of read out these levels that I have that I do respect. Supply sitting, you know, upwards of 206.75. We are still carrying and holding this 20 SMA on a 2-minute time frame. Again, guys, looking at the 2-minute time frame here on my chart. So this 20 SMA is still acting as support, still providing opportunities for bounces. Now, again, if we do start to break through this 20 SMA and close below it, I could see us retesting this rising Bollinger Band in 50 EMA, which is sitting down here at 206.40. So that might be a little bit stronger level of a support down there at 206.40s if we do get down there for a potential opportunity to bounce. Yeah, we're looking at the NASDAQ. Trade your own accounts, prop firms will have you gambling. Sure, I believe in that too. I've always been a big fan of trading my own account. Again, I do recommend everyone to trade their own account. Here's the scenario, right? Because there's always a different scenario. I never count anyone's pockets, right? I'm never checking anyone's pockets. Certain people have different financial balances, right? So maybe if someone is learning and they do have a little bit of skill set, you can utilize the prop firms to trade, take some payouts. But I always recommend to definitely filter money into a personal account. So like for me, I have a personal account with TraderVate as well as AMP Futures, and every time I take a payout, I make a little small deposit into that personal account. I take a payout from a prop, I make a small deposit, and I continue to grow that account as well. Now, I don't trade those personal accounts as often, But what am I doing in the meantime is I'm growing that balance to be able to trade bigger size on those accounts. Now, of course, I can easily go right now in my TD Ameritrade and I can make a withdrawal from my options account and put it into futures. But I like keeping everything separate, right? I don't know about you guys, but I like keeping things separate to where when you're building up accounts and when you're consistently taking payouts, you want new money flow, right? You don't want to use existing cash. It's leverage. It's just like in real estate, right? I own a couple of real estate rentals. It's always, I'm not going to go out there and put down 50, 60, 70%, especially with interest rates and everything and housing prices being through the roof, especially here in California, on a potential house to have a lower mortgage payment. I'm going to go in with the most minimal amount down, utilize that financing, and then utilize a renter to help pay down and hopefully provide a little bit of cash flow. Now, depending on the area in the market, it's going to depend on whether you cash flow that real estate property right away or you're breaking even. But in the meantime, you're utilizing other people's money for your financial gain. So again, different strokes for different folks. But yeah, I mean, I don't see a problem with prop firms. Again, trading personal account is always going to be better, right? Because you're in full control. You don't have any rules. But I've also seen people load $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 into a personal account, go on tilt, and blow those accounts very, very quickly. So as you're gaining that experience and as you're building yourself through prop, definitely funnel money into a personal account, because that's the end game, guys. That's always the end game. They can shut down prop firms. They can change something in regulations. You guys can, anything can happen. Anything can happen, right? Always expect the unexpected. But for the time being, definitely go out there and get your money the best way that you can. So I do not stream every day, Kevin. No, I do not. It's a headache. It's a headache. I really don't like streaming at all, period. Especially when I'm actively trying to trade. I'm not really trying to sit here and commentate. It becomes a little bit of a nuisance for me, because there are people out there who experience level for trading and price levels and price action and scalping is a little bit different than mine. What I'm processing that I see, someone else might not see that. So there can be instances where I'm in a trade and out of a trade and someone's barely looking to get in the trade. I don't like that feeling. Again, that I know it's not on me, but I don't like the feeling of someone potentially could be losing money because they just don't understand yet, just due to experience. We are trading at the upper range here. Now, this Bollinger Band are starting to get a little tight and they're starting to kind of fan out. So what I'm looking at here is if we do break topside here over 206.70, we could have a very quick push higher to 75s and 80s. I've got a 50% extension on this initial balance on a 2-minute time frame. Again, I've been scalping the 2-minute time frame here for a few weeks. 50% extension on this initial balance at 206.80s. But we are getting a little, there is a ceiling here. So we got some cappers where this consolidation up here needs to get broken through before we see that breath of air. Because I can also see a push to the downside here. We can come all the way down as low as 650, 206.50. Azeek's got us at 206.40 pre-market highs as well. So also a level to kind of keep looking at there. The winner circle trader Apex isn't paying out. I have a guy in my room who just took $10,000 from Apex last week. So Apex is paying out. Yes, there are traders who are not getting paid out. That's not my problem. I don't really worry about what is going on out there, but Apex does pay, and we actually have people who are getting paid as well. I just got paid from Apex, not this pay period that just passed, but the previous one. So I don't really know. because it becomes very, very easy to kind of sit there and read through social media, read through the forums, read through the discords, and see, you know, Apex is denying, Apex is doing this, Apex is not paying, and you create this own bias. Apex is not the only show in town, guys. There's, you know, Take Profit Trader, there's Top Step, there's a slew of other prop firms out there. So again, you know, if you don't like Apex, fine. You don't have to trade with Apex. I don't sit here and tell people that Apex is the best firm. They've got their issues. They've got their issues. Every prop firm has their issues. Guys, look at when you can invest, you know, 20 to $50 in an account, pay $100 activation fee to potentially, you know, even at the lowest amount, take, you know, $2,000 max payout in a couple of weeks, or $1,000 max payout in a week after 5 trading days with Top Step. You know, what do you like? You know, what are you really? What is there to really complain about, right? What is there to really complain about? And if someone just wants to, you know, game the system where they want to make some cash and then they want to trade personal accounts, great. Go out there, make $2,000, put it into a personal brokerage, and run your personal broker up from there. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm not going to sit here and chill out promotional codes. If people ask me who I trade with, it's Top Step, and it's Apex. That's who I trade with. Getting a nice pullback here into lower Bollinger Band 206.48. We do also have a little bit less, or a little bit lower support here at 206.43. That's going to be the 50 EMA here. So this is a nice little pullback off this top consolidation that failed here to the upside. Again, you know, depending on how far this pullback is, ultimately and realistically, 206.20s would be a hard support. Again, I still think that, you know, even in this market and in this environment, the buyers are still showing up, and they show up very, very quickly. So even on pullbacks where it looks like, hey guys, it's time for us to kind of just, it's time for us to start shorting this market because it's absolutely floating on nothing but thin air and hot breath, the bulls continue to step in. Again, this is my opinion. My opinion means absolutely shit, but I do not think that they're going to run this market down, especially being an election year. I think that we're gonna have to get through these elections and get through this new, you know, we're gonna have to get through November before we see any type of real shift in the markets. Now, of course, you're still gonna have down days. You're still gonna have, you know, high volatility. You're still gonna have down weeks. But I think all in all, you know, you're not gonna really see a drastic pull. And again, that's my opinion. And opinions are like assholes. Everyone has one. My opinion doesn't mean anything. It's just my thought. I'm not going to let it sway my bias because, again, I'm a scalper. I'm a technical trader. I don't really care about the news or anything else that's going on out there. We're just going to trade the levels as they show up and break down as we get them. Typically, because NASDAQ is the wild, wild west, and NASDAQ is obviously tech dominant and heavy, normally you will see the most volatility and the most typically in a normal market. Again, you will see the NASDAQ lead the charge, and then you will see ES and RTY. Now RTY is going to operate on its own kind of it's going to operate on its own leg, because you got a lot of you know, small cap names in there, different types of industries in those small caps. But what you typically like to see is, you would like to see the NASDAQ shooting in one direction, and then you want to see ES quickly behind it, and then you would like to see the Dow also following, and then last but not least, you would like to see the RTY. Now, when you have a big, you know, disengagement where, you know, you have, let's say for example, NASDAQ pushing all-time highs, but you have ES and the Dow kind of going down, that's a little bit of a disconnect that you don't like to see. And because the NASDAQ is extremely volatile, if those other indexes start to really hold weight, you will then see that outflow of cash in the NASDAQ follow the other indexes. Also got initial balance set here at 206.25. So if this continues to kind of push down a little bit here, um, we can definitely see that level get tagged. Right now, just kind of trading in the middle of the range here, especially off the big push from the floor today. So we kind of came down there and set that bottom level, consolidated for looks like around 30 minutes here between 7:30 and 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And then we got that push up through initial balance highs, kind of consolidated around, and now we're kind of pulling back. So again, if you're looking for that kind of buy the dip opportunity for the bounce here, you know, I'd like to see pricing get a little bit lower, 206.20, somewhere in there before I start looking for a bounce. We do have a little bit of a double bottom wick test here on a 2-minute time frame. Again, realize that when you're looking at a 2-minute time frame, a 1-minute time frame, even a 5-minute time frame, these smaller time frame levels don't have as much juice as, let's say, looking at a 1-hour chart or a 4-hour chart, right? So, you know, take them with the grain of little levels that can definitely, you know, help find potential setups. Guys, my OBS streaming platform, it got disconnected and looked like it got reconnected. Let me know if you guys are still on stream or you guys can hear this. If not, I would have to restart everything. Guys, just let me know if you guys can hear this stream still. Okay, cool. So we came back down to this linear regression support here. We're back down to the initial balance. We've broken through it. If we do start to get some, my mic is cutting in and out. Yeah, okay. I might have to restart this whole thing. Get it all smoothed out. I don't know. I don't know what's going on here. Guys, did anyone catch a short? We had a little 2-minute 20 SMA play to the downside that confirmed. Did anyone catch that short? A little bit of a trickier setup to kind of trust, just due to the fact that we did have some supports down there, but market was pushing with some momentum. Again, you know, as a technical trader, you got to kind of trust your setups until proven wrong. That's the only thing, you know. A lot of times, a lot of traders will, you know, land on a specific strategy. How the specific strategy it's going to work all the time, and that's just simply not the case, right? You're always going to take your bumps and bruises along the way. It's what truly makes a good trader is being able to sit out of the market when you know that you're not feeling it, and when your setup is getting chopped up, right? There's a lot of times where my setup is getting chopped up a lot, right? A lot. But you know, if you want to be in this business for a long time and you want to make, you know, some good strides in this business, it's going to take some personal growth as a trader. because, you know, strategies, again, they're a dime a dozen. They're a dime a dozen. They're not perfect. I'm gonna switch and I'm gonna look at a bigger time frame here, guys. I just need to see a little bit more. Let me see a little bit more context here. So look at the hourly time frame. So right now we got the push. We got the push through overnight highs. We got the push through pre-market highs on a 1 hour chart. We put in those highs at 206.70. So 206.70, 206.71 definitely becomes continuation for this upside move if and when it gets there, right? So again, it doesn't have to get there. I would just mark this out and set an alert. Now we've pulled back, and now the 1 hour time frame is trading back below the 5 and 10 day moving average, but holding, okay, but holding. So if and when, right, now this is a channel that we get stuck in. We're in previous hours range. If we start to confirm the previous hours lows, it's worth a little bit of a shot, right? It's worth a little bit of a shot, and that's going to be below 206.05, right? Let's call it 20,600. Below that, you know, might have a shot down in here to 205.88, and anything below that, I could see 205.68. As long as we're holding here, the bulls are still going to have the benefit of the doubt. Now, even though there's traders who took some shorts, even though there's traders who are trying to short, even though there's traders who think that this is going lower, you definitely have power here because we're still holding hourly supply. So that's why when you're looking at the smaller time frames, and yes, on a 2-minute time frame, it looks great for the short, like this thing's going to absolutely roll over. You can have traders getting short way too late to the party, and you're immediately getting snapped out, right? So for me, I'm always going to run the 1 hour time frame. I kind of want my trades more to run in line, my setups to run in line with what the hourly chart's doing. So I'm not opposed to, you know, taking a long when the market looks like it's pulling back. I'm not opposed to taking a short when the market, you know, looks like it's going higher based on the bigger time frames levels of supply and demand. Now, on the small time frame, we've pulled back into the initial balance here, and we're trying to hold this range. So all in all, great price action today, or is it kind of a chop fest? It's a little bit of a chop fest, right? There's areas of opportunity to kind of get in, you know, where you can squeeze and fit in and make a little bit of cash, but it's definitely a little bit more difficult. We're not really trending higher. We're not getting a lot of big moves lower. It's just kind of going back and forth in this bigger overall range. Yeah, that's another thing. Yeah, we're at all-time highs. It's very difficult to trust a lot of price, just due to the fact that a lot of the levels up here, they haven't been tested enough to really give us a lot of validation. So definitely makes things harder. And again, you know, summertime trading makes things harder as well. That's why over the last few weeks I've kind of just, you know, switched over to more of a scalping strategy. You know, instead of kind of looking for my bigger ATR price targets or range candle price targets, kind of just set up around a 5-point take profit. You know, sometimes do I miss out on some cash? Yeah, but you know, I'd rather try to be right just a little less to keep the cash flowing, because it's just, you know, you'll touch all-time highs, you'll pull back 30 points, right? Like what did we touch here? 20,670. We pulled all the way back to 20,615 in a matter of 20 minutes. So 50-point pullback, it's drastic, because think about everyone who's long, right? Think about everyone who's been long. It was a great move. It was a great move off the floor, and we pushed into those highs. And you know, if you were waiting for that consolidation and you're long, you just got trapped, not trapped, but you just got squeezed out of that long because of the pullback was 50 points. And there's not really getting any follow through to the downside. Now that doesn't mean that we don't come down and test, you know, the IBL low, but you know, I mean, think about it, right? So it's very, very tough, and it's very, very mentally taxing. Very, very mentally taxing when price does this, right? Because it tends to get traders to start over analyzing and creating bias and things that, you know, might happen and could happen. And we can sit here and go round and round and round, but you know, at the end of the day, you know, what's the plan, right? What's the plan? What are we really looking for here? What do we really expect? You know, should we have any expectations? Again, you know, not really, right? Like it's great to set goals for yourself. It's great to set, you know, price targets, and of course you always want to have your stop losses, but I mean, you can't really have your expectations need to be at zero, right? You know, and if anything, I always am leaning to the bias of when I take a setup, it's going to lose. Like it's almost like even when it looks great and it's my A plus setup and the market is trending, I'm always thinking it's going to lose. And that, you know, a little bit of a hindrance on the mental aspect of things, but it also kind of keeps me, if that trade doesn't work and it doesn't pan out, it also kind of keeps me clear-headed to be like, well, I was expecting a loss anyways, right? Like I'm never expecting the trade to actually work out. When it does work out, it's like, great, let's find another one. So pull back into the linear regression support here, into that IV level. A little bit of a bounce. We're still getting rejected here. We've got a lot of upper supply here, especially on a smaller time frame. Again, we're not really going to have any space until we get over 206.40s, 206.50s to kind of climb back up to the upside here. This could be just a failed dead cat bounce. Anything through this previous low here, we're looking at 206.15 could be a potential short. Stay patient, guys. Stay patient. No rush. 205.80s is the low here. That was that last floor that we put in. So what I'm looking at here is we put in this low. We came back up, kind of tested this upper supply. Now we're pulling back. Are we creating a little bit of a floor here for a higher low to kind of push back up to the upside? If that's the case here, you know, one could say use this previous swing low at 206.15 as a stop. That's your max pain. Sit in this trade for a potential test of 206.70, or sit here and wait for 206.15 to get broken, and then a following candle to confirm that, to play it back into the day's lows. So there's so many different ways to kind of analyze this price action here, depending on how you trade and the setups that you're looking for. One could be looking to go either way here, and one could be looking to just stay out of the way, period. I'm always more in favor of staying out of the way, period, until something really lights up my screen. I'd like to see a fresh 20 SMA set up to the long side. I might be interested in taking that just because of the gap that I have here. Notice the gap between this purple line, which is my 20 SMA, and this blue line, the linear regression, and this consolidation here. I like this gap more than trying to go long here in the thick of shit, right? I also like the short because this Bollinger Band's going to stretch, right? This Bollinger Band will stretch. I like the short through these lows into that floor. So like that setup. Exactly, yeah. There's a lot of people who are waiting for this pullback to go long. This is a great spot. This is a cheap long. This is a good value long. If you are in wave with what we've done over the past 2 hours, or hour and a half, I should say. Yeah, you have to think about it. You know, buyers, longs, you want a better price. You do not want to be necessarily buying at the highs, right? Like that's an expensive long to get into, and you better be right, because if you're wrong, buying breakouts or buying breakdowns, you're going to get hurt, and you're going to get hurt very quickly, and it can be a very big loss. So you're always looking for pullbacks. The bigger the pullback into support, and the firmer and the stronger support is where you want to get in. Remember, just go back a few minutes ago when I was looking at the hourly time frame. We're at some pretty strong levels of hourly demand. So this is definitely a good opportunity for a cheap long here on a bounce, right? Again, I'll speak to prop firm traders. Depending on the prop firm that you're trading with, the two big companies out there, one of them is not necessarily set up for A, dollar cost averaging, and B, kind of zone trading, where your P&L might fluctuate up $300-400 and then drop back down, go negative $200-300, because each time it's doing that, you're kind of at a disadvantage, right? We all know the company that I'm talking about. There's another company that doesn't allow as much intraday daily drawdown, but has no problem with DCA. They have no problem with kind of averaging in zone trading. So if that's more your style, like for example, if I was more of a range trader where I'm looking to accumulate down here at this support for a potential long, I'm not going to go with one of the big two companies, because it's not going to really fit my style. Okay, I hope that kind of makes sense for some people out there. Got room into 37. Let's see if we can test this 50 EMA, 50 SMA, if not the 20 SMA here. I'm gonna throw on I got a position on long here for a little bit of a cheap long. Again, micros only, using this previous swing low as a stop. Now you can see on this chart, let me zoom in. You can see on this chart, we have a ton of mini supplies, mini resistances. And if we do lose this level here, you can see us coming down to 20600 very, very quickly. It's going to be a very short and cheap long here, trying to bounce this into, look for this bounce into this 50 EMA. I'll explain it in 1 second here. Let me just get stopped out, or let me just let this hit price target. Just give me 1 second here. Should be a quick one. Great. That's a quick loss there. So okay, let me go back to, and actually I should probably stop trading this fucking account today. So right now this Apex PA account's only up $211. So last trade was a quick loss for $50 there. Wouldn't be surprised if this son of a bitch wicked me out here and it goes back up and hits my price target. I was only looking for a price target into 206.36, 206.40. Might get it, might not. With that being said, what I was explaining about the two prop firms is that with Apex is built more for scalping, okay, in my opinion, because they have that high watermark intraday threshold. Let's say, for example, you're in a trade and it goes up $500 in profit, but let's say your level, or whatever you're looking at, you had a level of, you weren't going to get out of it until $750 profit. But let's say we go up to $500 and now it's pulled back, goes to break even and goes down $100. Your drawdown is going to be from that $500 in profit high. So you could, yeah, maybe take $100 loser, but essentially Apex is going to look at it as you did not protect those gains. You're truly down 600 because of that high watermark threshold. Okay. They also, if you're a zone trader, let's say, for example, on this trade that I just took long, let's say if you still believe in this long, well, what's the problem here in adding, you know, to my losing position if I was still in this position? Because I want a better price and I still believe in the long. We wicked off, we swept that previous swing low, but we wicked off of it and still has a shot to, you know, kind of test these upper supplies that I'm looking at. So let's say you dollar cost average once, okay? And then let's say we come down to this Bollinger Band at 20600, right? 20,600. And let's say you dollar cost average again. And then now it finally catches support and it pushes up and it goes up 20, 30, 40, 50 points. Apex does not like that. Okay, they don't like that style of trading. Top Step, on the other hand, does not really care about that high intraday trailing threshold watermark. So let's say you're up 500, you go down 600, which again, you know, really wouldn't recommend doing anyways, but just for the sake of this topic, let's say you're in $500 in profit and it's come back down to break even and you sell it at break even, great, you're just at break even. You're not like down $500. You know what I'm saying? And let's say, for example, you've been dollar cost averaging into this position once or twice. There's no flag against you. Like, you know what I'm saying? They're not going to slap you on the wrist for that. It's not in like their rules, I guess I should say. So yeah, so again, choose your prop firms wisely, people. Again, everyone loves the fact that you can trade 20 accounts with Apex, and they love the fact that Apex does these 80% off sales, 90% off sales, all this jazz. But if they do not fit your criteria for the style of trader you are, why the hell are you buying them for sole purpose of price? Right? You have to work with the prop firm that works with your trading style. So break down, fork out the extra cash if you're a dollar cost averager, if you're a zone trader, and go with Top Step or another company. I don't know. I'm sure there's other companies out there. Those are the two that I work trading with. Right? So I can only speak on what I know. But you might run the risk of having a payout denied. Let's say, for example, you run up a balance and multiple times, multiple days, you are in drawdown and you're adding to losing positions and you're adding to losing positions and you're adding to losing positions, and then it finally comes back and it wins. If you're doing that multiple times in a pay period, you're definitely running the risk of having that payout not approved. A scalper would do better with Apex. Okay, so like for me, I'm a scalper and I also zone trade a little bit, but I take my trades accordingly. So for example, on this particular trade where I was looking to scalp, even if something as minuscule as 5 points, I was putting this previous swing low as my stop. So I got stopped out. I'm not, if I didn't stop myself out here, I'm probably, you know, close to break even. I'm down a little bit here, but maybe my position still has a chance to work. I don't care, right? I don't care. It needs to work or it doesn't. It needs to work or it doesn't, right? So for me, I'm not a dollar cost averager. I've never been, even when I trade options, right? I do not dollar cost average on options. Dollar cost averaging is a term and it's a style for long-term investing, right? It works with scalping, it works with day trading, but if you're right, you're right, you're wrong, you're wrong. Okay? So that's the way I've always looked at it. If I get into a setup and I'm right, great. If I get into a setup and it's wrong, I have to live with that right now. I'm not here to maybe sit and say, well, in an hour from now, I could be right. No, because in an hour from now, more than likely, you're going to get another setup that would have put you back into the same trade. Again, if you've got maybe smaller price targets, you're looking for 5 points here, you're looking for 10 points here, you're looking for 20 points here, quick scalps, you know, I would go with Apex, right? If that's your style. Yeah, no emotions, no emotions. That'll be the death of a trader. You're right, you're right. You're wrong, you're wrong. It's all about capital preservation and being able to take the next trade. I'm not going to go into drawdown $400, $500, $600 because I believe that something should be happening based on what I'm looking at on my charts. I've watched levels get smashed, right? Like these levels, all these indicators, all this, supply and demand stuff, it doesn't matter. Like you guys are looking at this chart here. Yeah, I've got a lot of shit going on it, but you can have bigger levels of supply and resistance from a 4-hour time frame or daily time frame or whatever. And I've seen those levels get smashed, right? I've seen those levels get absolutely obliterated. So what are you going to tell yourself? Well, I thought that, this was going to happen. You're right, you're right, you're wrong, wrong, right? I'm not going to sit here and be wrong 600, 700, 800, 900, $1,000, $1,500, $2,000. I've heard and I've seen traders personally get into a trade and the P&L is going against them $1,000, $1,200, $1,500. You're wrong. Like, you should have been out of the trade a long time ago. Why are we still sitting here hoping that this is going to work? There's going to be another trade. The best trades is when you don't think and when you don't have to think about anything. You see your setup, you get into the trade, and it just goes. It just goes. Like, you don't have to do anything. It just works. The trades where you're sitting there and you're trying to manage and you're trying to think about, well, should I give it this support, or let me wait another candle because it looks like we could be coming up. Those are the worst trades. Those are the worst trades because sometimes they work out, and what it does is it damages you as a trader from a psychological standpoint, because the next time that you're in that particular situation, you're going back to that one time and that one feeling where it did work out. It was super stressful, but it did work out. So maybe this one happens too. And for me, the best trades just happen. It's just, you're in the trade and it seems like you blink your eye and next thing you know, it's out for take profit. I've been trading for 10 years. 2.5 of those years, I was a loser. Yeah, I mean, I still lose, right? Don't get me wrong. I have losing days. But for the last 7.5 years, yeah, this is what I do for a living. I trade options. That's my focus. But right now, I mean, truthfully speaking, I'm honest, I am transparent. Everyone out there is trading prop firms. Everyone out there is on this futures trading trend. So I'm over here now. But I still trade options on a weekly, on a daily basis. Like last week, I really slammed Tesla all week. I mean, that thing, the breakout, like I was laughing internally, right? Not out loud and not on social media. I could care less to talk shit to people or throw my opinion about what this and that. But internally, I was laughing because there was a lot of people, Tesla's trading at 220, 225, and they're trying to say, well, Tesla's breaking out. Guys, Tesla broke out at 189. Tesla traded all the way up to 250. Yeah, I rode that train from around 193, 195 into like 235. In and out, of course, but on options. And yeah, Tesla was a fucking hell of a trader last week, and I felt like Tesla acted like old Tesla, right? Tesla's been absolutely not acting like old Tesla all year until the last couple of weeks. Oh. And knowing when to pull the plug is also another problem I see a lot of traders have. You don't know when to pull the plug, whether it's in the red or in the green. Like today, you know, if you guys have been listening since I started this stream, this PA account that I'm copy trading here, it's at 53,000, so I'm over the threshold, right? I'm just gonna make this point clean and clear. I don't need to trade it anymore, right? I should probably go on, trade some evals, continue to have those in the bank, you know, look for options trades, do this and that, or whatever. But it's only up $211. Know when to pull the plug. I'm not gonna sit here and tell myself it's only up $200. I need to find another trade. I want to make 500. I want to make 1,000. I want to do this and that. Why? This account just needs to make it until next pay cycle, and I'm going to take out 2,000 times 2. That's $4,000 from just these two accounts. So why am I going to risk anything, right? And this is what happens a lot of times. Even if you're taking an evaluation, guys, and you're up $200, but the market's been kind of trading like this, and you're telling yourselves, well, you know, I'm only $1,000 away from getting a funded account. If I just take a couple more trades, for what? You're going to have another setup tomorrow. You're going to have another setup next week. You're going to have another setup maybe later today, a better one, right? Knowing when to stop trading is also very, very critical to your success. Like having that emotional discipline to just get up. Again, put yourself in the mindset. You're an absolute animal, right? You're cutthroat, you're fucking ruthless. The only thing you're doing here is trying to make money. How are you going to do it? Nobody cares that you're sitting here on the computer screen or on your phone or wherever you're trading from for 6 hours and you're some, you know, hyper scalper that's, you know, in and out of the market fucking 50 million times today. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. You want to also know what no one cares about? How much money you made today. You want to know what no one cares about? How much money you made at the end of the month. No one cares. How much money did you lose? Nobody cares. You know why? Because you're not putting food on someone else's table. Nobody cares. That's why when you really look around, again, I don't consider myself a streamer by any means because I jump on here just whenever I just feel like it. But if you look around at some of these big time streamers, future streamers, these guys, these big time guys, right? You will always, and I do it for, you know, market research, right? I want to see what these guys are doing in terms of their YouTube business, right? Not from a trading perspective. I don't need help trading. I don't need a new fucking strategy. I don't need to know what, like, not that, but from a YouTube research perspective, because I do run a YouTube channel. And I will read through comments and people will be like, well, how much money did you make? And, you know, when did you take a last payout? What the fuck? Never, ever, 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 ever in my life, does another man or woman need to be concerned about what someone else is doing? Well, focus on yourself. Focus on yourself. Guys, I will say this. The only person that matters is you. No one else. It doesn't matter what anyone else is doing. It doesn't matter about what this streamer says they make or how much they say they've taken a payout on. That does not matter. And that should not mean anything at all to you as a trader. Well, I've seen it in comments. I've seen it on social media. Well, this person, XYZ streamer, you know, they took out $10,000 from this prop firm. I can do the same. No, you can't. No, you can't. Can you? Yes, but like, should you worry about it? No. Like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what they're doing. Like, it's for entertainment purposes only. Like if you don't like trading and you're not involved in a community, you don't have a mentor, you don't have a trading buddy, you don't have a trading pal, you don't have nobody else, and you're sitting here in dark, utter silence, and you want background noise, like for some of you guys on here, this could be background noise, right? Me sitting here spewing my nonsense could just be background noise, right? That's great. That's background noise. You like do what you do, but you're just listening for the pure entertainment, so it doesn't feel like you're trading on timeout in the corner of your bedroom. That's great, but it shouldn't matter what anyone else is doing. I always hated that. That's why I don't think I could ever be like those guys. I give those people a lot of credit, for being able to sit there and it's like almost annoying. Like it's annoying that everyone on social media, especially in this trading space, is so concerned about what everyone else is doing. It's like, in this business, it's a solo business. You got to do for yourself. You're only looking out for yourself. Having a lot of trouble here at all this supply. This short-term supply between 206.20s and 206.30s. We've got multiple moving averages here. I got a 200, a 50, a 20. Very pinned and pinched. Now, Bollinger Bands are coming in tight here. I'm expecting a move out of this very, very soon. I would say within the next 30 minutes to 40 minutes, I'm expecting a breakout through 206.40 or a breakdown below 20,600. The smarter trader would kind of wait for the shit to kind of clear and then take your move coming out of it when the Bollinger Bands start to expand again after this contraction. And once we either get through this supply or we break down this swing low here, a little bit of a double bottom swing low. That would be your ultimate bigger move to kind of sit and wait for. Be patient for. Yeah, everyone has their own way of doing things. Like, it doesn't mean that I'm not going to trade. I'm still going to trade. I'm just going to be mindful of what's going on in my trades. Like, see, like think about it like this. If let's put yourself in this situation. Let's say you have two accounts that are ready to be paid out. All you have to do is just wait until next pay period. Continue doing what you're doing, but really monitor your performance in terms of, hey, I'm up $100 here, or I'm down $100 here. Okay, great. Do I need to push it? No, because why? You just need to get to that next payout. You're going to get your two payouts. In the meantime, you're working on other evaluations. In the meantime, you're working on your personal account. In the meantime, you're working on XYZ, right? You're doing other things at once. So in my situation, I'm going to continue to trade this account. It's not like I'm going to leave this for dead and just wait. I'll continue to trade it, but I'm very mindful now, up $100, down $100, if that makes sense. So if I go down $100, I'm not going to trade anymore. Or I go down $200, especially after being up and down. No, I'm just going to stop trading on the day and then come back and do something else. Go to another account. but it's again, at the end of the day, it's all about getting paid, right? Like I don't care what, like, me personally, I don't care, like, what the number on the stupid screen says. Like, this number could say it's a $50,000 account. This number could say $100,000. It means nothing to me if I'm not taking out that money, right? Like, you have to take out the cash. You have to consistently take out cash. And with a prop firm like Apex, you can't take out all the cash. You have to have the account for so long, before you can request limited payouts. Again, I'm not a type of trader who will ever get to that level because I don't run the balance up that high. Little 2-minute 20 SMA set up here to the upside. We do have, we've got all of this mini supply here. I don't really like it, but setup is there. And the range is 9 points. Maybe that would be a max risk there. It's a 2 risk for 1 reward. It's not the best, but setup is a setup. Oh, but I get restless. I get restless, especially during lunch. During lunch, 9 to 10 a.m. hour is restless for me. I'm expecting one more move to come out of lunch here, and then within the next 20 to 30 minutes. And then if you can catch that next move, I would highly consider, wrapping it up on the day. I've never been a big understanding of traders who sit here until power hour and continue to try to find every move. It's like, for what? For what? Why are we doing that to ourselves? You're gonna burn out. This business will burn you out, mentally, so forth and so forth. The whole idea should be to try to, create a trading window for yourself and stick to it, right? And stick to it. My trade window is market open until around 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. I might sit around until 10:30 and look for that one trade coming out of lunch, but typically that's it. That's my trade window. Whether I make money or I lose money, those are the best times. The days where I've made money, I've made it in the first hour to hour and a half, and I've been able to call a day. The days where I've lost money, it's because I've traded too much during that window, and I'm still sitting here into the day, and I give back profits, and I start forcing trades and all that kind of stuff, right? Guys, that 5-point take profit just hit. If anyone was in the 2-minute 20 SMA setup here, you just got paid. High price was 20,626 or 27. So 627 into 634 here, you should have just gotten hit. This isn't Pacific Standard Time. I'm in California, just makes it easier for me. So right now, 9:52 Pacific Standard Time, that's my current candle. There we go. That's it for me, guys. Anyone catch that trade with me? Just a quick little scalp there for 5 points. Anyone able to... Now your upper supply is sitting at 206.39. Anyone manage to grab that? So again, to kind of go over the entry for that. At 9:46 Pacific Standard Time, we closed back over the 20 SMA. Oh, you're in LA. Nice. I'm over here in Santa Barbara, so just a little north of you. 9:46 Pacific Standard Time. We got the confirmation at 9:48. Okay, so that's your entry. The range of that reason why candle that closed over the 20 SMA was 9 points. That's our max pain. Looking for 5 points. Okay, so entry should have been taken over 206.27. And we're selling that into this 9:52 candle when we touched highs of 206.35. Makes sense? That's the setup I'm looking for. Hey Marie, if you're taking a lot of losses early in the day, try to force yourself to sit out the first hour or even first 30 minutes. For me, I know for me, I had to do it last week for 2 days in a row where I put myself on timeout, no trades within the first 30 minutes, just because everything I was taking in the first 30 minutes, I was losing on, and then I would have to like come back. Half the time I'd be like pissed off and like wanting these setups to occur faster and then try to battle back. And the setups were a lot cleaner later in the day, but sometimes you just have to like catch yourself in real time, what's working, what's not working, and then make that quick adjustment for tomorrow and kind of just stick to that for a few days and just get back on your feet. And then you know, you can try it all again. But yeah, it's been happening for me. It's been happening for a lot of people in my room as well. They're like either you're on that right side of those opening range setups or you're not. And if you're not, it's kind of like, shit, now what, right? And if you are, you're kind of like, okay, later on, guys, I'm done for the day. I'll catch you guys all later. And you got, you know, you might be sitting there like, what the hell's going on here? But yeah, first 30 minutes to an hour for New York has been a little rough, a little rocky. Because truthfully, if I go back now on these 2-minute plays, this last long was a winner. The previous short at 9:02 Pacific was a winner. That's 2 wins. The previous long at 8:02 took a little while to confirm it, about 10 minutes, but that was a winner. This one at 8 a.m. from 6:13 to that was a winner. That's 4 winning trades. 5, 6 winning trades. But everything in the first hour from 6:30 a.m. to essentially like 7:16 for that first 45 minutes was absolute shit. Absolute shit. So for 40 minutes, it was just nonstop madness. 40 minutes. And then after the first 40 minutes, we got literally 5, 6 setups in a row that just all hit for 5 points. So that's 20 to 25 points worth of profits there after the first 40 minutes. So if you just went down early in the first hour, let's say, hit a daily loss limit or something, or a personal loss limit, you kind of just missed out on everything. Which I've been there before. I've been in that feeling before, where I don't have no more room to take any trades, and I just end up watching a bunch of trades go in my favor. Um, uh, range of the reason why candle, yeah. So typically, yes, it is the range of my reason why candle, or it's the ATR on whatever time frame I'm playing. That's my take profit. However, since we've gone into summer trading, since we're trading at all-time highs and these support and demand levels are new and they're being tested, I'm on a scalp mentality right now. So I'm only looking for 5 points. That's it. So a lot of the times, okay, for transparency, a lot of the times my risk to reward is way off. I might be risking 2 to make 1. In this particular situation where the range was 9 points and I'm only looking for 5, I'm risking 2 to make 1. Okay. Sometimes I'm risking 3 to make 1. Okay. Now, before someone says, well, when you lose 1 trade, it's going to take you 2 trades or 3 trades to get back to break even. Yes, I understand that. But this strategy, and I've been tracking all month. I'm going to get the actual numbers before I start talking out of my ass. So this month, this trade strategy is hitting at 80%. And I'm looking at data from the 1st of June or July to July 8th. So for 8 days, it's hitting at 80%. Now, it's 55 trades that I've taken. Okay, 55 trades in 8 days. And the total profits on this is 25.33. 25.33. So that's really good, right? It's almost 2 weeks of trading and we're up around $2,500. That's good. That's good money, right? So and this account's a little bit older than that. So for the end of June, because there was a week's worth of trading in June, I only took 9 trades, and 100% of those trades were winning trades, and that profit was 767. So this total account now is up 3,033.64. So, and that's been about 3 weeks of trading. Okay, just for context. So when you have a strategy, again, like this is why I don't stream, guys, a lot. I'll be honest with you, because I don't like talking like disclaimers. I don't like talking with like parentheses, quotation marks, asterisks. But again, I realize that I have to, because there's people out there who maybe just listening to me for the first time. This is not going to happen 12 months out of the year. Like, just because this strategy for 3 weeks, let's call it a month, is winning at 80% of the time does not mean it's going to do that month over month, quarter over quarter, year over year. It's not like, well, I've got this comment before, right? Like, this is what's crazy. I've got this comment before on a YouTube video. Well, if you have a winning strategy, why don't you just scale up to 10 contracts, and instead of making X amount, you would make, 10 times the amount of money? Because when I do take a loser, you dickwad, it's going to lose, like, you have to understand, if I'm risking 2 or sometimes 3 to make 1, well, that loss, right? Excuse my language here, but that loss is going to be like a $2,000-3,000 loser. I don't want that to happen. So I have to like baby it. Like, I got to like, okay, I'll take a $80 winner here. I'll take a $100 winner here. Great. I'll just kind of keep doing that because it's easily more manageable. Like, I can manage up, down $100, $200 every single day or every single trade. Again, today we're up 227. I can manage that more so than I can manage scaling up my contracts to 10 and taking a $5,000 loss. For one, I'm going to lose an account. Two, I don't want to crawl back from $5,000, right? Again, there's not enough drawdown in this account to do that. Like these prop firms, they don't give you enough drawdown. $2,000, $3,000 drawdown is not enough to really scale up that much. So I have to do it that way. But when you realize that, you know, on good days, like for example, I can pull up a day from last week. Like let's go to, I don't know, what was last week? Friday was a good day, right? Let me just go to Friday. So I took 3 trades on Friday. I made $170. There was a 100% win rate. Okay, let me pick another day. I go to, I don't know, what do we want to do? Second. If I go to the second, it was $900 in gross P&L, and it hit at 72%, right? Okay, one more day. Let's go to the first. Let's just say 7 winning trades, 100% winners. Okay. So again, yeah, when you do take that loss, yes, you might lose 2R, right? Or you might lose 3R. Yes, I get it. It's going to take you some time. But when the price action is hot and when price action is hitting, you might go on a span of where you're winning 5, 6, 7, 8 trades in a row. Yeah, so again, Mad VT, you automated this strategy and the last 5 years have 70% win rate, but in auto it's not profitable. Sometimes we have to break even. Yes, exactly. So again, we're working on a bot inside of Evolution Traders. We're working on an algorithm. We're working on a script, right, that can do this automated. And we are so far back in back testing right now, almost 3 years. And yes, it is profitable, but this is another asterisk coming, guys. But there are weeks where you're flat. There are a week where you're in drawdown, like where your account's just red. There is months where you lost a trade, like not lost a trade, but like lost, like you didn't make any money. So think about that from a psychology standpoint. If you're trading prop firms and you're have a red month where you lost more money obviously than you made and you lost more days than you won, mentally you get beaten down. And what tends to happen? Strategy doesn't work. I need to find a new strategy. I need something else. I need this. I need that. And then you start all over again. You have to stick to the same thing. It's an edge. It's an edge. It's an edge where if you don't trust it, you're going to get slaughtered. And it doesn't have to be this specific edge. Like we can make up a different edge. I don't know. We could trade the VWAP, but like we need to set stop loss and take profit that gives us an edge over, you know, depending on if we're shooting for high R's or just, you know, scalps, but we have to work those numbers to where they're profitable, right? So, but then you have to stick to it. That's why I always tell people, hey, when you're starting off a strategy, you take 20 trades before you even talk to me at all. Like take 20 trades using the same stop loss, using the same take profit, and the same setup for 20 trades, and let's analyze that data. Then from that data, where do we need to change things? What do we need to change to make it more of an edge, to make it more profitable? Yeah, you guys will need a lot more likes on here for me to do this every day. This is exhausting, to be honest. Like it's exhausting. Um, hey, congratulations to Shift, man. If any of you guys are in here from Evolution Traders, shifting gears just passed. What did he pass? 450K evals while he's at work today. Sweet. So again, I mean, there's and that's another conversation for another day, but there's a way to pass these evals too. It's using the same setup that you always say, but it's just maxing out your size. Again, anyone who tells you otherwise is fucking lying to you, right? Again, excuse the language, but anyone who tells you, how to pass these things quick by just taking a few points at a time or taking a few dollars at a time is talking out of their rear. But I mean, again, yeah. 450 evals pass, so that he'll be trading those 5 PA accounts very soon. Congratulations to Shift. Shift's a good guy. Shift really knows how to trade. He's a really good guy. But at the end of the day, it's all about management. Management. So, however you're managing your size, however you're managing your risk, how you're managing your accounts, it's nothing to do with strategy. It's nothing to do with the markets. People cry, complain, markets are this, markets are that, markets are choppy. Yeah. Markets have been that way for 100 years, right? It's how you manage yourself. It's how you're going to get through this, you know? I could easily sit here and say, up 200 bucks, let's go for 500. Next trade's a loser, back down to 0. Stupid, right? Stupid. I always tell people this. Okay, you make money in a funded account, you make money in an eval, you're doing real good, you still want to trade, you still got that itch, go buy another evaluation account if you want to trade so bad. Go spend another 35 bucks, go spend another 50 bucks and go trade again. I don't want to. Why would I do that if I already have one? Then you don't want to trade that much, because guess what? When I want to put on an options trade and I want to take 10 contracts of Tesla large, it's going to cost me $2,500. It's going to cost me $3,500. That's real cash. You know, like I have to put that up with the possibility that I might lose some of it to even take the trade. But you still want to trade, but you're so entitled that, or you're so spoiled that you don't want to go spend another $50 to go trade again, then you don't deserve to be trading anyways. Yeah, I have a community. Yeah, I don't really call them students. They're traders who are learning the game, and some of them are actually really good. It's always the market's fault. It's always the market's fault. Yeah, I mean, but yeah, they're traders who are some of these guys, they check in, they just post their gains, they show off to me, and then they jam. Other people are still learning. Everyone's at a different stage of their game, but we all kind of work together. Really, really small group of guys. Like I'm not one to want a community with thousands of people in there, because that creates a lot of headache. And everyone trades the same way, and everyone is very supportive, which is what matters. Because when you trade with people, you want them to be supportive. You want them to see the markets the way that you see the markets, and you want to analyze risk the same way that you're analyzing risk. And it works really good because you trade as a team. Guys, with that being said, I am completely parched. I am going to go get a coffee. I'm going to go for a walk at the harbor. And that's it for me wrapping up this day. $227 on this PA account ×2 because I copy traded them. Again, all we're doing now is just waiting for the pay period cycle. Options trades, Tesla, caught a little bit of that this morning. Very, very good on Tesla. Tesla still remains my #1 favorite stock, but as of late, it's been NVIDIA. But still, Tesla will always have a small piece in my heart. With that being said, guys, stay safe out there. Make sure you guys protect yourselves. Make sure you manage your emotions. Guys, hit the like button on your way out, and I will see all of you guys on the next stream, whenever that happens to be. But I'll see all of you guys later.